Hello, what's up? My name is Seb. How's it all going? And welcome to another episode of Jump Inside Games. It's the Saturday series, and today we are doing the top 10 characters with powers. I apologize for my voice right now as I record this video, but because, basically, my throat's just completely done right now. I've been feeling ill for the past 2 days, and honestly, I feel like I'm slowly getting back to recovery mode, but my voice hasn't quite caught up with the rest of my body. So, as I explain how I'm going to do this video, I'm choosing particular games where your character, is the only person throughout the whole of the game world that you're based into with a completely unique power that nobody else has access to. So, these particular games will be chosen accordingly to that list. Let's begin. Probably starting off with the weakest game in this top 10. This is Fable 3. Yes, you are a very unique character. You play as the hero who is going to save the whole of Albion. You are the hero of skill, will, and strength. Basically, you can fight with any type of weapons that you want, whether it's magic abilities, swords, or shooting your enemy to death. Every time you shoot or kill an enemy, you gain certain points that you can use to upgrade your character. You upgrade your character by using these points to spend on chests on the road that I'm currently on, which is called the Road to Rule. As you can see, I've pretty much opened up a lot of my chests as I've been playing this game. Now, unlike a lot of other characters in this game that also have the abilities to fight, you have the abilities to really upgrade and increase these powers to take down multiple enemies at a time. In fact, your character is probably just the most powerful character on the game for that reason. I mean, as you play as the hero in this game, yeah, you are stronger than a lot of other people in this game, which makes you more powerful. It makes you the guy that is prophesied to be the guy that saves the whole of Albion, but outside of that, there's not many really unique things that is given specifically to the hero. It's just you're the character that can do certain quests, you're the character that can save the whole of Albion, and you're the character that just seems to be the strongest in any situation given. But outside of that, this game is an excellent game and I absolutely love it. Anyway, moving on to the next game. And yes, it's Grand Theft Auto 5. You probably immediately know what I'm going to be talking about in this one. But yes, it's Franklin. For anyone who's familiar with Franklin's ability in Grand Theft Auto Story Mode, then you'll be very familiar with how he drives a car. He can literally slow down time, which is a bit weird for a Grand Theft Auto game. He can just slow down time and dodge cars and have more precision on his driving, where it can really make the cars get to a high speed. The main ways you upgrade this is just by shooting people or doing different things like just driving more, but you can just see the bar raised on that yellow icon in the bottom left hand corner constantly going up as Franklin's driving his car and he's not crashing. Yes, Franklin has a very unique ability in Grand Theft Auto, and his unique ability is slowing down time while driving, and Michael and Trevor, I just don't think can touch the ability of how useful this particular ability is, because they have like shooting abilities. Franklin has the one that gets you from A to B like real fast without crashing the car, and yeah, it's awesome. I mean, just look at the way you go around corners, and you know, and even slightly damaging cars don't really take that much effect on Franklin. Yeah, it's awesome. Anyway, we'll move on to the next game. And the next game on our list is Saints Row 4, where you literally play as a superhero. Also, you think you're not actually a superhero in this particular game. What you are in this game is you are in a simulation, and you've hacked the simulation to give you superpowers. So everybody is a simulated person, and you are a character that's in the system, but you are also very powerful within the system. So you kind of obtain powers like superheroes, so you can run fast and jump high and all those kind of scenarios. But the one thing that I will mention of why this doesn't get a higher ranking is because it only consists of your character within the simulation. So, you know, you're playing as a simulated version of your character. Outside of the simulation, you are a normal person. But within the simulation, yeah, you have certain powers that make your character unique above every other character within this game. So, yeah, jump high, run fast, fly through the city, do whatever you like. You're pretty much a superhero. And it takes away the elements of what number 3 would have, like driving a car, because flying is so much faster than driving a car in this game. So, yeah, it's cool, it's unique, and your character is very, very powerful in this game. Anyway, moving on to the next game. And we're going to be using the base game of the game, Skyrim, because there is a DLC called Dragonborn, and I'm not going to go into that for certain details, but basically you play as pretty much the only character in the whole of the game that can pretty much save the whole land of Skyrim and Cyrodiil and all that kind of stuff from the dragons and the end of the world and all that. But the reason you can do that is not because you have certain magical abilities. There are lots of characters in this game that can fight with swords and shoot bow and arrows and do and cast magic. Literally, the one tiny thing that makes you unique above every other character is the fact that you have the power of shouts. So basically, in a situation, you can just shout at an enemy and they will do different things. The one I'm currently using right now, which is one of the first ones that you'll pick up on, is the push one, where you can push an enemy far away. The reason why I'm giving this the place that it is at is mainly because you are unique as a character. You can't just go to shout walls and be able to learn and pick up shouts in a second. But people in this game, like the Greybeards that you will meet, they can also shout, but they have to spend years of learning how to do it. So whereas the Greybeards can also shout, and other characters have the ability to shout, it's just because you can pick it up in a second where these other characters can't. They have to actually learn shouts. So basically, the unique ability that your character has in this game is the quick learning of how to do different shouts and using that in certain combat situations. And yeah, I'm not going to say how it contributes to the story, but I'll say that there are parts of this story that require shouts. And yeah, and you're the character that can pick it up in a second. Now, we'll move on to The Witcher 3, and basically Geralt is kind of one of the few witches in this game. I don't think there's a lot of witches in this game. I know that Letho is also a witcher, but I can't remember if there's more witches than you and Letho, which is why I'm making this kind of like on the borderlines of what I'm allowed to put in this video. And one of the things that your character can do that other characters can't do is you can use particular signs and a Monster Slayer sword. I mean, I presume other characters could probably get their hands on a Monster Slayer sword, but they can definitely not do signs. You can access your sign menu, and you've got different types of signs that you can use, like that fire one, which you can attack enemies. You've also got the one to influence opponents' minds. You can use a telekinesis blast that can basically, it's a force push, basically. And then you've got protective shields, so you can protect yourself. So if anyone tries to attack you, they might get attacked as well. And then you've also got trap, which means anyone who goes into this circle will be trapped. It's that simple. And you can kind of use different ones at the same time. For example, you could use Fire Blast while also having protection on you. So you can kind of mix them up a little bit, but not too much. But it's these signs that make your character unique as a Witcher, because I don't think a lot of other characters in this game can do those types of things. I mean, there are different things characters can do. Again, you know, everything is pretty hard in this game, but your particular special ability is to be able to use Monster Slayer swords and take down monsters, as well as using different signs on your enemies. And you might argue that that monsters are unique in this game, or certain bad guys are unique in this game, but honestly, they don't compare to the powers of the character that you play as, which is a Witcher. And also, at the same time, monsters are a natural thing in this game. Monsters just exist, So, there are different types of monsters, and it just so happens that you're a monster slayer. Your job is to take down monsters. Monsters exist, and Geralt takes them all down because he's a Witcher. It's just what it is. Anyway, moving on to the next game. I find a lot of the games that I'm putting into this list, the characters only have a slight slimmer of an extra thing that other characters can't do. For example, in this next game I have right here is Hogwarts Legacy, and you are pretty much a wizard like every other wizard. However, what makes your particular character unique is it seems that you are the only character of your particular generation that can see signs and track signs of ancient magic. See, you can see the other side of this wall, but Professor Fig here, he can't see it. And it doesn't make you stronger, it doesn't make you better in any way, it just makes you a little bit unique because you can see something that other witches and wizards can't see. So, for example, you can touch this reflection right here, and then you could be transported to what that reflection was showing. But outside of this, when it comes down to battles and stuff like that, it still relies on your magical skill ability. And without the power to see ancient magic, Professor Fig is an absolutely talented super wizard who can just take down enemies nonetheless. And yes, your character just stands there in amazement, because even though you can see signs of ancient magic, the rest of this magical stuff, you just have to learn. You just have to learn how to be better in combat situations and battles, because, nothing's going to teach you how to be better than actually learning all this stuff. So yes, your character has the power of seeing ancient magic, but that's about it for this game. Moving on to the next game. Now, this one's a bit on the border because certain assassins can use eagle vision depending on the bloodline, but some can't. But eagle vision is one of the things that can make your character extremely powerful. See, throughout this game, you can just take down your opponents by finding out where they are. You've got this thing called eagle vision that only a very few assassins actually have in this game. Again, this is completely on the border, but it just makes your character, as you explore this world, be able to find and locate where enemy actually are. And then you can use this ability to go up to them and then engage in battle and to know which characters are enemies and which ones to take down. Again, it doesn't last forever, but it's a nice ability just to be able to locate things and to be able to see things and track things whenever you feel that is necessary. But I think, compared to some of the other games in this list, that this is probably one of the more useful abilities. That's why it gets a higher place in the ranking on this list. And we'll move on to the next game. And the next game, which actually requires the power to be used to actually make things in this game do or happen or to take any effect on this game, is Max's abilities to actually rewind time. See, in this game, which is called Life is Strange, Max has the ability to change certain events, but also remember the things that she did. So, for example, she might get asked a question that she doesn't know the answer to, and the person might reveal the answer. And then you can rewind time where the events were that she gets asked a question, but this time, because she knows what the teacher was going to answer, she knows the answer to the question. Kind of confusing, but kind of how the game works. So, for example, the camera is actually smashed on the floor there, but she can rewind time to where the camera was not smashed on the floor and that she never pushes the camera off in the first place. So I will mention that you are the only character with any type of special ability in this game which allows Max to actually rewind time and change events around the people around her. So yeah, that's a very interesting and a very nice talent and very nicely used in this game. So yeah, moving on. And you play in this particular game as a good guy or bad guy or whatever you like to call him, somebody in between. And basically, an outbreak has happened from an experiment or something, and it's caused loads of monsters to appear throughout the cities as people gain and have been infected. And you so happen to have been one of these people, but instead your particular infection has allowed you to obtain superpowers where you can do different types of things. So for example, you can have claw powers, and you can have different things like punch abilities where you can punch tanks, and you can also even disguise yourself as other humans. Honestly, this game is so fun to play, and I've played this full to completion before now, and I just absolutely love what Prototype is. I really want them to do another one with the same quality of story as this provided, hopefully even better, but honestly, this is just a phenomenal game, and I absolutely love the things you can actually do in this. But I think one of the ones that I think comes out on top, probably one of the best, let me introduce to you Beyond Two Souls. This game is my favorite when it comes to having unique abilities and superpowers, because honestly, you have literally another character to play as. Let me explain. So Jodie has this unique psychic ability where she's friends with Aiden. Aiden is a ghost type, spirit type thing that can do different things. So it can take control of other human bodies. It's got the power to move things in rooms. So for example, it can flick cards around the place. But also basically it can cause just like a lot of havoc if it really wanted to. You play throughout Jodie's timeline, just doing different scenarios that she actually witnessed in her life, but you'll be playing them at different points in the game. So you might play as a child in one episode and might play as a grown-up in the next. And, you know, there are lots of different situations that she's been into. But the one thing that makes this game very unique is the fact that Jodie and Aiden are two very different characters that you control. They're attached to each other. One's a spirit type thing, and then one's actually her as a human. And they can't be detached. Aiden can't go too far from her, otherwise she will suffer her and be in pain. But yeah, again, don't get me wrong, they are two different characters. Aiden is one character and she is another. She can tell Aiden what to do and kind of guide Aiden what to do, but Aiden is his own character. He can do whatever he wants. You control Aiden as much as you control her, and if you want, for example, Aiden to do one thing that she may not necessarily agree with, you can still do it. Nothing's stopping you from doing it. So yeah, I think Jodie's probably got one of the best out of this whole series, where her ability is literally being attached to a spirit. And yeah, that can be a good thing and can be a bad thing. Necessarily, she isn't a bad person, but she's caught up in a situation that she can't really fully control, which I think that makes this a very interesting story. But yeah, there you go, right there. That is her special ability, and I think that's probably the best one I can think of. So that's why she gets #1 slot. But other than that, tell me what you think. What is your favorite game with a character with special abilities? Do you have a different order than me? Do you have a different game that I didn't include into this? Let me know down in the comments below and I will go read them. And yeah, let's see what you can think of. I'll see you guys in another Jump Inside video. Thanks for watching and goodbye.